Hi there, Aaron Walter here. If you're hearing this, you're not currently on our premium subscriber feed. Design Better premium subscribers enjoy weekly episodes, 4 episodes per month in total, rather than 2, all ad-free and invitations to our monthly AMAs with the smartest folks in design and tech. You'll hear a preview of this episode, but if you'd like to hear the full conversation, please consider becoming a premium subscriber at designbetterpodcast.com/subscribe. It's just $7 a month, and it supports not only your personal growth, it also makes our work at Design Better possible. The podcast is available to everyone through our scholarship program. If you can't afford a subscription, email us at subscriptions@thecuriositydepartment.com, and we'll help you out.
I think that childlike wonder is so important to nurture as an adult and as a parent, because I'm so glad that I had that encouragement over something that truly brought me joy. It really was just a huge passion. And with that passion, I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
Sometimes a creative transformation occurs after a painful experience in our lives. This certainly happened to our guest today, Bishop Briggs, who lost her sister at a young age in 2021. After a period of intense grieving and struggling with depression, her son was born in 2022, and she went on to win The Masked Singer in 2023.
We spoke with Bishop about how her creative process evolved during these life-changing events, as well as how she approaches creating with consistency, how she connects with her audience, and the surprising results of her experiments with generative AI. Also, just a quick note for anyone who might be sensitive about the topics of depression and suicidal thoughts. Bishop does discuss these topics during the course of our interview, most notably around the 10-minute mark of the episode.
This is Design Better, where we explore creativity at the intersection of design and technology. I'm Eli Woolery.
And I'm Aaron Walter. You can get ad-free episodes, discounted workshops, access to documentaries like Design Disruptors, and our growing library of books, as well as our monthly AMAs with big names in design and tech by becoming a Design Better premium subscriber. It's also the best way to support the show. Visit designbetterpodcast.com/subscribe to learn more. We'll return to the conversation after this quick break. Design Better is supported by Masterclass. It's usually around the holidays, as the year draws to an end, that I start to really reflect on my goals and how I want to grow in the coming year. I've often turned to Masterclass to help me expand my knowledge and satiate my seemingly unending curiosities about disciplines that I've yet to explore. Masterclass is the only streaming platform where you can learn and grow with over 200 of the world's best thinkers. I'm talking about people like Steph Curry, Paul Krugman, Malcolm Gladwell, Diane von Furstenberg, Margaret Atwood, LeVar Burton, and so many more inspiring thinkers who share their wisdom in a format that's easy to follow and can be streamed anywhere, on a smartphone, on your computer, your smart TV, even in audio mode. Former Design Better guest David Sedaris teaches a class on storytelling and humor. And I loved Bob Iger's class on business strategy, and Anna Wintour's class on creativity and leadership. Oh, and Sarah Blakely, she's the founder of Spanx, has an amazing class on entrepreneurship that taught me so much. I've been through so many classes, and I just learned so much each time. The Wirecutter calls Masterclass an invaluable gift, and I can attest to the truth of that claim. I gave my wife a Masterclass subscription last year for her birthday, and she got so much value from it all year long. With Masterclass, your loved ones can learn from the best to become their best. Masterclass always has great offers during the holidays, sometimes up to as much as 50% off. You should definitely head over to masterclass.com/designbetter for their current offer. That's masterclass.com/designbetter. I'm so excited for you to try it. masterclass.com/designbetter. And now, back to the show.
Bishop Briggs, welcome to Design Better.
Thank you, guys.
We're very excited to have you here. I've been listening to a lot of your music lately, and I'm loving it. I have to be fully honest. I wasn't too aware of you before. I maybe heard the name, but I didn't really know your music, and I'm just really loving exploring what you do. It's very powerful. I think just to give our audience a sense for your background and where you grew up, just to know how that influenced your story. You grew up in a lot of different places. You were born in the UK, but then when you're quite young, it sounds like you moved to Tokyo and then Hong Kong. So we're just curious how that influenced your perspective on creativity and culture.
I mean, those places were just a huge playground for creativity. With Japan, it really was my introduction to music. I fell in love with music because at the time it wasn't crazy or weird to go to a karaoke bar at age 4, which in hindsight is a little peculiar. And I would see my dad singing Frank Sinatra, and I just wanted whatever that was. And then with Hong Kong, it really was just the true teenage angst, and that was a perfect starting point for writing. Then it became such an escape and such a important part of my life.
Could you talk to us a little bit about what that experience was like? Because it sounds like when you're a kid, I mean, most kids, they don't really know what their special traits are, their special talents, but I've seen it with my kids, like where they start to figure it out, like, oh, I can do a thing that other people can't, or they find a thing that just lights them up, which is such a fun thing to see. What was it like in that karaoke bar, where you're singing in front of adults and people are enjoying what you're doing?
Oh my gosh. Well, the most special thing about childhood, and I feel like being a parent, is sometimes the delirium that comes with it. And so I want to be clear. When I was at the karaoke bar, I wasn't sounding like Christina Aguilera. People weren't going, wow, I have tears in my eyes. I was doing Greatest Love of All by Whitney Houston, not because I sounded like Whitney Houston at all, but exactly what you're saying, because I just enjoyed it. I thought, wow, this is an amazing song. I think that childlike wonder is so important to nurture as an adult and as a parent, because I'm so glad that I had that encouragement over something that truly brought me joy, but it was still up in the air if there was a future for it. But what became my main focus as I got older was truly making it a craft. I took singing lessons for over 10 years, and it really was just a huge passion. And with that passion, I couldn't see myself doing anything else.
So you have this moment where you fall in love with the performance, but was there also a moment where you realized, I've got a voice, that you liked the sound of your voice and other people responded to that?
Well, I grew up listening to a lot of Motown music. It was a lot of Etta James, Otis Redding. And interestingly, in Japan, I had some time where I was in a gospel choir. And I think even auditioning and getting into said gospel choir, and the thing that I hold on to is I don't know about the sound because I think that is so particular, but I will say it just filled my soul. And I think because I grew up listening to Motown music, any interview you see of anyone from that time, there was just this urgency to express themselves in that way. There isn't really like a discussion of talent or pitch or anything technical. It really is based in how does this make your body feel? And in turn, are you connecting with others by doing it?
You mentioned your dad, and I believe your parents are from Scotland, from
Yes.
Glasgow. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Are there any? I'm a huge Mark Knopfler fan, and I also like Belle and Sebastian and some other
Oh my gosh, I love
some
that.
artists with Glaswegian origins.
Yes.
Did any of those folks inspire you in your early years?
Yes. I mean, my mom and dad are huge music lovers and music fans, and Frightened Rabbit is one of my favorites. Yeah, but that meant that our home was filled with the Beatles. It was filled with these iconic artists at all times. There really is a great music scene over there. And so where they're from, actually in Scotland, is Bishop Briggs, hence the name.
You started writing songs at a pretty young age. What caused you to write songs? It's one thing to be excited as a kid to perform or, do karaoke. It's a whole nother pathway to be someone who is writing your own songs?
Well, so I have, a Scottish mom, and we went to Catholic school, Sunday school. And so I found a lot of the writing came after the Sunday school. I feel like I had a lot to write about, which I feel like I need to do some investigation about. But that really became the starting point, was relaying what happened in my day. And again, I'm grateful that there was support, but it was all based in feeling, which was to express myself feels good, it feels helpful, and it feels like I can understand what's happening in my brain and in my body and in my spirit by expressing in this way.
Fast forwarding a little bit, and we'll, I'm sure, come back to other parts of your career, but recently in 2022, you had your first child, I believe, a son.
Yes.
And Aaron and I both have kids, a little
Ah,
older.
the best.
It is. And I think, at least speaking personally, influenced the way that I approach my work and my creativity. And I'm curious how it affected your career, the way you write, the way you perform.
I actually had a big realization about this recently. I try my best to have an openness to opportunities that come in, and I would consider myself someone that works hard and has a strong work ethic. And I found myself at something where I had spent, at this point, it was hours away from my baby. And I think it was the first time that it really, really hit me that now that I have the baby, I think I have to have different standards for the things I'm willing to put time and energy into. And, I've had other events that I've worked at where, of course, it's been longer than a few hours, maybe it's been a day, but it has felt so positive. And I felt so proud after that. I couldn't wait to tell the baby about it. And yeah, and so I think my standards for time and energy have shifted. And I think in such a heartbreaking way, as a woman in music, there's also this element of perhaps trying to overcompensate. Nothing's changed since I had the baby. Nothing, I'm down. And I think it was really freeing to realize, freeing, by the way, and shocking, because I've lived my life in a very particular way. But yeah, but very liberating to release that. I also learned a bit of that lesson. Sometimes lessons come in whispers and they get louder and louder. And I had that lesson with my sister, who really unexpectedly passed away. And I was in the hospital with her. It was right around COVID timeframe. So
If you'd like to continue listening to this conversation, you'll need to subscribe at designbetterpodcast.com/subscribe. Once you do, you'll get access to every full-length episode, all ad-free, monthly AMAs with inspiring people in design and tech, and recordings of all our past AMAs. The podcast is available to everyone through our scholarship program. If you can't afford a subscription, just email us at subscriptions@thecuriositydepartment.com and we'll help you out. Your support makes Design Better possible. Invest in yourself and the design community by subscribing at designbetterpodcast.com.